Guitar tips, just the tips, just for you. Guitar tips. Hello and welcome to Guitar Tips. Welcome. My name is Adam Levy, and as you may know, if you're a regular here, Guitar Tips is my weekly video blog series. I post a brand new tip right here on this channel each and every Friday. Friday is new tip day, so I guess you can watch them whenever you like. Some people are just getting here. You may be a binge watcher, or you just may watch them as they come on Fridays, wherever you happen to be in the world. When it's Friday morning here in Los Angeles. Anyway, whoever you are, whomever, I welcome you. Welcome to Guitar Tips. So I've been doing a series, what will ultimately be a 7-part series on the melodic-minor scale and its modes. And this series is called Let's Demystify the Melodic-Minor Scale. And this particular episode here of Guitar Tips is the 4th episode. So we're going to talk about the 4th mode of the melodic minor. My tuner is still going. I'm going to turn it off and take it off the guitar. I'm not sponsored by Polytune, but I think these are pretty neat little tuners. So if you're into clip-on tuners, check it out. It's kind of miraculous what TC Electronic is doing with the tuning technology. You can, well, the tuner's gone now, but with the clip-on tuner, or even with their foot pedal version of the Polytune, you can hit all 6 strings and it will tell you which strings are in tune and which strings are not in tune and how they need to be adjusted. It's pretty amazing. To me, this is like more incredible than self-driving cars. A tuner that can hear all your strings and know which ones need help and in what way. That's just amazing. That's amazing. So hats off to the engineers at TC Electronic. Anyway, so let's talk about melodic minor modes. So just to review, the first, we'll do this with A as the root. I don't know, A is a nice key here. So this is A melodic minor. And a couple of people have been messaging me through Guitar Tips and saying, oh, I studied the melodic minor scale, in my music theory class, and I know that it's supposed to be these notes going up and then these notes going down. And I have addressed that, but in case you're new here and this is your first guitar tip, or at least the first tip in this series, yes, that's true. Your high school or college music teacher was telling the truth. That's how the melodic minor scale is used in classical music. But in jazz and improvisation, which is what we're talking about here, no, we just use what would be called the ascending mode, which if we're in A minor, would have F sharp and G sharp, and then back to the tonic. So we don't really call that mode anything special. It's just the A melodic minor scale, and it's a nice scale to use when you have, say, A minor 6th or A minor major 7 or any kind of variation on that. Okay, so that's the first mode. Now let's keep A as our root, but we're going to now go to the second melodic. So I'm reviewing now. Second melodic minor mode. So you have to ask yourself, A is the second degree, since we're going to stay with the A root here. A is the second degree of which melodic minor scale? And if you said it's the second degree of the G melodic minor scale, you would be correct. If you said any of the other 11 possibilities, you would be incorrect. So now if we take G melodic minor and put it over an A, so people often call that the Phrygian natural six, because if you compare it to A Phrygian, which is these notes, that scale has a flat six. If we use a natural six, that's what we get. The A, the second degree melodic minor scale with A as its root, we're using the G melodic minor as a parent scale. That gives us A Phrygian natural 6. Okay, and we can use it over A7 flat 9 sus, and it's got a natural 13 in it, which is a beautiful, sweet and tangy sound. Flat 9 sus 13. That's really good. Okay. All right. Third mode of melodic minor, which we looked at last week. Again, you have to ask yourself, A is the third degree of which melodic minor scale? And, well, that would be F sharp. And that's going to be for that kind of chord, which is A major 7, sharp 5. There's A major 7, there's the third, and there's the sharp 5. And the parent scale, again, is F sharp melodic minor. And people will call that the Lydian augmented scale, because if we start on A, when we play the notes of F sharp melodic minor, we're going to get A, B, C sharp. So far so good, it's like a major scale. But we get D sharp, and that's what makes it Lydian. Because if you know your major scale modes, you know that the fourth mode of the major scales is the Lydian mode, and the characteristic sound is the sharp 4. So far we've got Do, Re, Mi, sharp 4. People can call that Fi. That's chromatic solfege. Do, Re, Mi, Fi. And then we have E sharp, Fi, C. Normally we use So for the 5. If when you sharp it, it's C. So Do, Re, Mi, Fi, C. And that makes it a Lydian augmented. So we've got the sharp 4, Lydian, augmented, natural 6, the major 7, and the root again. So that's a really interesting sound. Now we get to this week's mode, which is the fourth mode, and you need to ask yourself, A is the fourth degree of which melodic minor scale? Now, I've just been breezing through these. How do you figure out which melodic minor scale A is the fourth degree of? Well, you could go backwards in the alphabet and go A, G, F, E. So A is the fourth degree of E. A, G, F, what would be F sharp if we're in melodic minor, and E. So E melodic minor is E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, A thing, starting on A, B, C sharp, do, re, mi, Fi. Remember, that's the Lydian sound, sharp 4. So, La, Te, Do. So that's the sound of Lydian dominant. Now, a really interesting thing about the Lydian dominant sound, again, it's called Lydian dominant because it's got a sharp 4 and a flat 7. This G natural makes it a dominant sound, and the D sharp makes it a Lydian sound. So it's Lydian dominant. Okay. Normally, dominant chords resolve up a fourth or down a fifth, you could say. So A7 would go to D. That's the way harmony usually works. But Lydian dominant chords are special. They are what we call non-functional or non-functioning dominant chords, in that they are dominant chords. They have all the stuff that makes a chord dominant, but they don't really want to go. Sorry, I've changed it. There we go. So here's A Lydian dominant. It doesn't really want to go to D. It's not wrong, but usually we reserve this quality for dominant chords that are not resolving that way. So a lot of times you'll see this chord, like if we're in the key of E minor or major, let's say minor. When we go to the 4 chord, that's A7, we could E minor, and this is A Lydian dominant. It's kind of a neat sound. It's not acting as a 5 chord, it's just a dominant chord hanging out. Another way you might see that is pretty commonly it functions as a 2 dominant. So if we're in the key of G, I'm hinting at Mood Indigo. When you get to the 2 dominant, if you were in G and you went to A7, it's nice to put the Lydian dominant as a 2 dominant chord. Also, it's commonly enough used as a chromatic approach chord from a half step above. So this chord is nice when you're going A7 to A flat major. And again, the scale here would be if you want to play it, it's very easy to play. It's just a B triad with G and C sharp underneath it. That gives you kind of a, and then G and C sharp makes it kind of a dominant chord. That's the 3rd and the flat 7. Sharp 11, 13, 9. You can grab that note this way if you like. So that's a neat voicing. And that relates to something I've talked about in other guitar tips, right? Guitar tips. Using the 4 and the 5 triad of the parent melodic minor scale. Gosh, this is so mathy. Remember like a year ago when I did a tip that said music is not math? This series is super mathy, but I hope you're hanging in there with me. These are neat sounds. I don't know how to get at them without getting a little bit mathy, so thanks for hanging in. But anyway, if the parent scale of A Lydian dominant is is E melodic minor, and then the 4 and the 5 major triads in E melodic minor are A and B. So here we're playing a B triad over an A7 chord, and you could I'm just alternating B and A triads. Similar idea, here's a B triad with a C sharp and G, that's the tritone of A dominant. You can see it's kind of a weird voicing, a weird grip. So C sharp, G, B, so I'm getting all 3 strings here with the second finger, then getting the G natural with my pinky, getting the D sharp with my ring, getting the F sharp with my index finger. Anyway, so that is the sound of Lydian dominant, the 4th mode of melodic minor. It's got root 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, flat 7, and the parent scale, if we're thinking of A Lydian dominant, is E melodic minor. But you really do want to think of this as A something, not E something. And that's true of all the modes. Really do try and think of it from what the bass player is doing, not from some complicated formula. If you have to think about formulas when you're on the gig, it's probably too late to be thinking about it that way. Anyway, I hope you find this stuff helpful. I'm always open to questions if you want further explanation of anything I mention here. You can email me, it's guitartips@adamlevy.com. If you want to order a t-shirt, you can also email me, guitartips@adamlevy.com. If you want to know where I'm playing a gig, just go to adamlevy.com. All the info is right there. I think I've covered just about everything. Thanks to Martin Guitar Strings for being a sponsor. And thanks to you for tuning in. Let's demystify the melodic minor scale, part 4, mode 4. I'll be back next week and the weeks after for the final 3 modes of the melodic minor scale. Until then, for Guitar Tips, I'm Adam Levy. Stay tuned and take good care.